Plaintiff Bernadine Jackson dated the defendant, and in the beginning, she and her children thought he was a great guy because he cooked and cleaned for them. However, over time, Bernadine discovered the defendant had a severe alcohol problem, and he's been in trouble with the law for kidnapping, robbery, and forgery. Bernadine's suing her ex today for an unpaid loan. Defendant Gerald Bridges believes the only reason Bernadine is suing him is because he refuses to have sex with her. Gerald insists Bernadine never loaned him a penny, and he's countersuing for lost wages and defamation.
Start with you.
I met Gerald in October '08. He towed my car. He was the tow truck guy when my car broke down. And we exchanged telephone numbers and we hit it off and began dating. And as the months went by, he met my family, I met his family. He knew I was a widow, and he met my children, and my sons thought he was absolutely wonderful because he would come over, he would cook, clean, do whatever, to make me happy. And that was the first time I had ever gotten into a serious relationship since my husband's death. Mm-hmm. And as Gerald and I continued to date, I started, we became very close. And, but after a while, he started changing and I noticed that he had a real heavy drinking problem to the point where he would want to get upset with me for every little thing. And I noticed that especially in March, on my birthday specifically. He went and purchased a bunch of barbecue for my birthday, spent hundreds of dollars on meats and stuff. And I said, okay, wow, he's really great. But then when he got there, his behavior changed. And he appeared at the party drunk. And then that's when I decided, okay, what's going on? He almost got into a fight with my brother-in-law. So he started changing. He wasn't the individual that I thought he was. And as
what do you attribute that to?
Well, I didn't know at that time, but after looking into his background a little bit, I started noticing because he was changed that I decided to go on public record and see if maybe there's something that may contribute to his behavior. And I realized that and that's when I found out that he had a felony for kidnapping, aggravated robbery, forgery, possession of stolen properties.
But what made you think that caused him to change? Didn't sound like the history involves any type of psychosis.
Well, I thought, because he wasn't.
I guess doing all that, you would be kind of crazy.
Okay.
You're right.
Well,
okay.
Actually, I contributed to the heavy drinking. But that I didn't know
that's what
about.
That's what I was hearing from what you were saying.
It was the heavy drinking because when we were dating during the holidays and stuff, it was normal. He would hang out with me and the boys and spend a lot of time with us, wasn't drinking that much. And it seemed like when the weather broke, in March and April, that's when he started hanging out every night.
Spring fever.
Spring fever, call it what you want. And that's when I noticed that, he had changed.
Let me allow him to give some background before we get to the loans you're suing him on. Sir?
The only reason I'm here, Your Honor, is because I won't give Bernie the opportunity to get back in my pants. And that's the only reason.
To get back in you won't let her in your pants.
I won't let her back in my pants.
So she's suing.
Exactly. And it's all she wants all the time. This is stay in my pants. You're trying to paint me to be this bad person.
Well, I wouldn't keep bragging about that, sir. That means you have a whole lot of room down there. For one to be able to fit into your pants. You have a whole lot of room. Let's go ahead.
What does that have to do with the case?
But see,
he's giving a motive. He's saying that that's your motive for suing him, and that he's really not liable for anything other than not being your lover anymore. He's saying that's the only thing you're guilty of, right?
That's what it boiled down to, Your Honor.
Well, give me some background then.
Well, Bernie has a bad definition for herself. She says a lot of cruel things. She's different, but she is a nice lady. But do some very unusual things.
What about you? Changing. Do you respond to that?
That's what she said, Your Honor. We was into every 4 to 6 days. Me and Bernie has.
You all were falling out every 4 to 6 days?
Every 4 to 6 days. We were always falling out.
Every week?
Yes, sir. Every 4 to 6 days, there's always something. And it always reflects on me, let her tell it.
Your Honor.
Yes.
When I started asking about the loan, which he had promised me.
You didn't tell me about the loan. Let's talk about that.
Right. Okay. And when he decided to, he came to me for the loan, it was the end of March. It was the end of March. It was March 30th, because that's the day that I went to the bank to get the money. And he said he was going through a difficult time. He was living between his dad and his sister, and he was in between jobs. So the type of person that I am, especially somebody that I'm close to,
Right.
I am very generous.
How much did he ask for?
$1,000.
Okay.
So I went to the bank on the 30th of March and I withdrew. I had 2 banking accounts I was dealing with. And I withdrew the $500 from one bank. Then I got back with Gerald a week later, which was April 7th, which I brought all that in here, copies of when I withdrew the money. And I gave him the $1,000 cash. And then he told me he would pay me back because he had found out. The end of June, because he said he was going to start a new job on April, the next week. After
End of June, he was to have repaid the $1,000.
Yes. And then when I started asking him about the money, then that's when he started telling me, you talk too much. You're going to end up in intensive care. You are, something tragic is going to happen to you. And I even notified some of my family members. I texted them. My niece had said, just in case, he threatened me. I take that as a threat. And that's what, at the end of the month, end of July, is when I said that was the last straw.
All right, let me hear from him.
Okay.
So
Absolutely not, Your Honor. She didn't loan me any money.
Never?
He's
Never.
a lie.
All
We were
right.
together.
He's a lie.
Pardon?
We were together. It was a love affair that wasn't sour. And it's over with. And Bernie just can't
Did
swallow.
she ever give you $1,000?
No, sir.
Not as a gift or a loan?
No, sir.
Did she ever give you any money at all?
Absolutely not.
Never.
Oh my God, he's
All
lying.
right, your counterclaim $800 for defamation. How did she defame your character?
But bringing up my felony. And
It's untrue?
No, it's true. But I redeemed myself. I got a job with the city of Cleveland. I rebuilt myself, and I'm
What do
doing
you
real
do
good.
for the city?
Garbage man.
Okay,
Police
good.
department.
Unfortunately, the truth is the number one defense to defamation. If someone learns about your past, they can gossip, and that's called gossip.
Yes, sir.
Even if the person doesn't like it. That's not defamation. Defamation is saying something that you know to be untrue
Okay.
to someone else in effort to cause damage to that person's reputation. And it does cause damage to that person's reputation. Untrue being the key word there.
Okay.
They can stand on the Empire State Building with a bullhorn
I got you.
and tell what you did without any consequences if it's true.
I got you.
That's the way life is. But, your witness want to speak? State your name.
Hi, Your Honor. My name is DeWanda Westmoreland.
What do you want to tell me?
How I found out that he owed her money was one day I called her and I asked her if I could borrow a couple $100, and she told me that she couldn't because Gerald had owed her $1,000. And when she said that, she was like really hurt and kind of like almost embarrassed to tell me that.
Sir, have you ever heard this before today?
No, sir.
This is the first time you've heard
What a lie.
that she believes you owe her money.
Absolutely. First
All
time.
right. I don't believe you.
Thank you, Judge. Oh my God.
You were doing all right for a minute. I'll do that. Until you're going to tell me this is the absolute first time you've ever heard in life that you owe her money. So I absolutely don't believe that this is the first time she's ever accused you of owing her money. You knew when you were coming to court, at least. When you just showed up at court, when you come on down to court, we want you to see your ex. You were doing all right for a minute. You slipped up on your game. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your claim is dismissed.
First of all, he didn't give me much sex from the beginning, and he thought he would be a gigolo. But if you're gonna use that for an allegation, at least say, really do it. I thought something was wrong with him. I thought he was gay for a while, so I don't know where that even came from.
I have no response for that. Bernie's entire his own opinion. I'm not gay.